It is time for your weekly breakdown on the latest in entertainment, sports, pop culture, and all things Milwaukee. This is Nothin But The Truth with Melanie Ricks. Now streaming on 1017 The Truth YouTube with the witty banter, latest trends on social media, and hottest celebrity topics, here is Melanie Ricks.
Hello. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Nothin But The Truth with Melanie Ricks in stew with @the Smith. But that's only on Instagram. He's Jason Smith in real life. Don't get it twisted. What up, Jay? How you doing?
Mel, come on now. It is a fantastic day today.
Oh,
Especially over everything that's been going on over this past week.
oh my
Oh,
gosh.
man, we got a lot to talk about. So I'm doing amazing.
I love that for you. We have a lot to talk about. I mean, first off, when we're recording this, it's Sunday. It's Super Bowl Sunday. So when y'all watch this, we'll know the result. But real quick, who do you think is going to win?
Come on now. It's Patty all day. The Chiefs. I'm all Pat. Pat will end up being the greatest quarterback of all time. Mark my words.
Wow. I didn't think there would be somebody greater than TB so soon after TB. You know what I mean? Like, eventually that time's going to come. There's going to be another LeBron. There's going to be another Jordan, all this stuff. Another Giannis. Didn't think there'd be. But he's not TB. I think he's better?
He more skilled. TB didn't run like that. Come on now. He wasn't as athletic, as agile. Yes, he could throw, but come on. But he had Tom Brady had the coach and the team surrounding.
Facts.
Now, Patty got a coach and a team too, but it's different. Patty is more skillful.
I think so
on
too.
top of making history with a three-peat.
Come on.
4 rings already?
Come on now. Yeah, he built different. Yeah, I agree with you. I'm rooting for both teams though. Like I'm honestly am because I mean I like certain things about the Eagles organization. You feel me? And I root for both quarterbacks. So but I think it's gonna be the Chiefs. I think it's Chiefs all day. But we'll see. We'll find out soon. The Bucks, they're playing the Sixers today. So yeah, it's just it's a sports Sunday. And speaking of the Bucks, the NBA world was turned upside down.
That's an understatement.
I mean, to say the least, Jason. Listen, I thought that I had to get my eyes checked when I saw Shams tweet that Luka Doncic was being traded to the LA Lakers for Anthony Davis. I literally did not think that was real. And when it happened, it literally dropped at like 11 p.m. You told me that you woke up to the news because Jason is not a night owl like some of us. I was still up. And so when I saw it, I was like, oh, I got to go to bed. I'm seeing things.
That is crazy. You thought, hold on now, I'm just sleepy right now.
You
because
feel
this
me?
This can't be real.
I was like, wait a minute. I was like, I got to go to bed. I'm seeing Shams tweet stuff he would never tweet. And then my brother started texting the group chat. I was like, no. Okay, so anyway, I would love to hear, walk me through when you saw it, what you thought, what you did first. Like, I want to hear everything.
Mel, listen. So it was Saturday night. I was watching WWE Royal Rumble.
Okay.
Man, I fell asleep during Royal Rumble. I woke up and saw the winner of the Royal Rumble. Was a little bit mad.
Okay.
So I just went to sleep. This is around 10 p.m.
Right.
You know, I sleep, wake up around 5, 6 a.m., I slide down on a notification bar.
Yep.
And I see my friends texting saying, what's happening? What is this? I'm not registering anything yet. I'm just ignoring it.
Yeah.
I just go on Facebook, just click on it, see what's going on. I'm seeing, why did the Mavericks do this? I'm still not getting it. Then I see the notification from ESPN and from Shams saying Luka to the AD. And I text my friends. I'm like, this is not real. Like, he was hacked. There's no way. This doesn't make sense. And my friend's like, no, like, this has been confirmed. It's over. In my head, I'm a LeBron fan, obviously. It wasn't even registering that Luka is going to play with LeBron and that AD got out.
Oh, interesting.
Only thing I'm thinking about is Mavs just traded Luka. Why would they do that?
Why would they do that?
That question
For
has
sure.
been stuck in my head for a week, and
stuck.
still do not
Still
understand.
stuck. It's been a week, still stuck.
I am stuck.
And you know what, Jason? I actually thought about it because you're right. It was Saturday because I remember thinking to myself, we just recorded the podcast today and then this drops.
Man.
I was like, oh, like, I literally thought that was like one of the third things I thought to myself where I was like, oh my God. Of course, this drops right after we record the pod, but regardless. Okay, so I agree with you. You're asking the question why. You understand the trade. What happened to you when you realize, wait, he's about to be teaming up with LeBron? Like, what went through your mind at that point?
I'm such a Luka fan because in my mind, Luka is just the less athletic version of Bron.
Okay.
So, like, I was rooting for Luka all last playoffs. Like, I want Luka to get a ring. Luka Magic, Luka Legend.
Yeah.
So then in my head, it's like, hold on. So AD gone, and I was super sad because AD been my guy.
Yeah.
However, shout out AD.
Right.
But we getting a generational talent. So now I'm like, oh my goodness. So Luka gets to team up with his idol. The stuff he can learn from Bron, preparation, how to win, all the mess that the Mavericks talking about, out of shape and like lacking conditioning. Oh, snap. I know the most in shape and the most conditioned and the most durable athlete probably in the history of sports.
Honestly.
And he's right there.
He's right there.
So now I'm like, okay, Luka can learn from them.
Yep.
But in my head, I'm like, man, are they a championship contender though? Then I see in the playoffs series, 7 games, putting those two minds together when the rotation shortened to probably around 7-8 players.
Right.
You got Luka and LeBron out there controlling and dictating everything.
Right.
That is not a team I would want to see. So I got happy because I'm like, okay, we might get this Lakers-Bucks finals, and that's my only dream.
Ooh. You think, because, I mean, there's no question that the Lakers have all but guaranteed a spot in the finals for this foreseeable future, but you think they're in the finals this year?
I think they can be. I think that I don't honestly. I love the Mavs, but I don't think that they are
not without Luka. Sorry,
they can make it. I don't believe they will. I still think you go through Jokic. I don't know why. Jokic is the one man I'm scared of.
Right.
So I'm like, if we can
he's
avoid
the Giannis
Jokic
of the West.
Come on.
Yeah.
If we can avoid Jokic or get through Jokic, we are good.
Right. Okay. Interesting. Or avoid. Okay. Wow. Because this is the thing. It has to work well, obviously, on court. On paper, it works. Do you think that pacing-wise, how do you think? Because I feel like a lot of teams are young and they run. That's the only thing that ever, like, kind of gives me pause when it comes to the Bucks and them going on their run, if you will. There's so many teams that can outpace these older teams. Yeah, they're veterans. Yeah, they're savvy. Yeah, they've been there before. Luka's been to the finals now, so he knows how to get back to the finals. Do you worry about that because of the conditioning of it all? Because of, like Luka, he's 25. This man has a 10-year professional career already, though, because he started playing at a very young age. Do you have any concerns about the conditioning? No, because like you said, he's with the best, most conditioned man in the league, arguably, in sports, arguably.
Yeah, I'm not worried. And not only that, the playoffs, the game already slows down anyway.
It does, yeah.
And now you have Luka and LeBron. These are the two best players at dictating the pace.
Right.
These guys play at their own pace anytime.
Yes, they do.
It's going to be an adjustment period because obviously now LeBron is the number 2 on the team. And he ain't never been the number 2. So now we got to see how that work out. But I think he wants to be the number 2.
Right.
And I think that the team has to, listen, whatever Luka want, we got to do. This man just carried a Mavs team to the finals with Kyrie, and I love Kai. But now you got Bron, you got Austin Reeves, Dalton Connect is back. Oh, that was crazy.
That was crazy. That was so crazy.
So I think that he got the team around him. The team is going to play slower in the playoffs anyway because it's going to slow down. It becomes chess in the playoffs.
Yep.
Just like Rondo. Remember when Rondo and LeBron were on the same team in 2020?
Yep.
I knew they had to get a ring together because when you put those minds together, the IQ is unbelievable.
See, and I agree with you. I just feel like this NBA is so different. Like I look at like the Houston Rockets, for example. I actually think they could go on a run out west. Like I know they're one of the top teams in the West right now. Unfortunately, that don't mean anything when it comes to the playoffs because to your point, the game does slow down significantly. It becomes more of a chess match, and it does take a certain level of not just skill but also luck. And like you said, like the IQ of it all. So like even though the Rockets are young and, they're a force right now, I don't know how much of a force they'll be in the playoffs per se. But that being said, I think it's a different NBA that we're in right now. I think the NBA that we're seeing in 2025, vastly different from the one we saw in 2020 when LeBron, when Rondo were able to make that run, it was a bubble. Doesn't mean anything because I personally think that was the most difficult championship to win. That's just my opinion. But that being said, do you think that in today's NBA, like you said, the way that the pace does slow, but with all of these different teams kind of popping out Jason, I would almost argue, because I talk about this a lot with people, I feel like these guys, they have learned the game, not just from, AAU, not just from after school and, whatever other medium in which they were able to practice basketball and play the game. They learned it from social media. That, you know what I'm saying? Like, they have access to things that guys just didn't. Like, I think about a Steph Curry. I think about a Giannis Antetokounmpo. Like, guys who just have that God-given talent. Think about how much greater they would even be if they'd had social media on their side. Whereas these guys, they're kind of like getting a lot of their game from the Steph Currys, from the Giannis Antetokounmpos, from the LeBron Jameses. So that being said, how do you feel like your team, the Lakers for now, I'll just call them your team because you like LeBron, you like Luka. How do you think they will measure up to these younger guys that just have, I don't know how else to put it, but they have social media on their side where I almost feel like they have a leg up on the competition, if that makes sense.
Now, I get it. My whole thing is they got to show me. I'm sorry. They got to show me. Like, for example, even last year, OKC, a lot of people had OKC coming out the West because they were dominant until they ran against Luka.
Right.
Then, come on now, Jokic against the Timberwolves.
Right.
Nobody was expecting the Timberwolves to put out Jokic. He ended up doing that. But then what happened? The Timberwolves ran into a 5th seed in the Mavericks.
Yes.
So that's why I get all that. I think they got to show me because if we look at the last champions, we got who we got? We got the Bucks.
Yep.
The Lakers the year before that. We got
Warriors.
the Celtics, veterans. We got the Suns who actually went when Chris Paul was there, veteran. We got the
Warriors
the
won
Nuggets
the year
who just
after
won.
us. Yeah, so who was it? It was Celtics, Nuggets, Warriors, us, Lakers. Those are the last
You
five.
feel what I'm saying?
And those are all older veteran teams.
Veteran teams.
Good
So
point.
now
That's
you
a good
got
point.
the Lakers with Austin Reeves who got a little bit of experience now.
Dropped
LeBron,
a casual 45 last night. I'm sorry.
Man, I was watching that game because I was saying ESPN gonna be mad because the only reason they put that game on there is because Luka was expected to make his debut.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh man, they're gonna be mad. Austin Reeves made up for that.
Man, what? And I think Austin Reeves is as good as he is because he is LeBron's teammate.
And he a future star.
To say the least.
Bro, come on. He averaging 19 right now. He progresses every single year. You putting out with Luka? Dawson Connect with Luka? We're gonna talk about defense. That's that's cool.
Yeah.
But the offense?
Yeah.
The offense gonna be dynamic.
Well, I'm glad you brought defense up because they do say that defense does win championships, and I agree. PJ Tucker, he was our missing defensive piece the year we won. He wasn't scared of nobody. And him and KD, they went at it a few times. And I think he is arguably the reason why, again, the missing piece as to why we won that championship. Defense does win championships, but if you've got the shooting power that the Lakers have, that the Bucks have, that many other teams have, you think that can get it done?
I think the IQ of it all can get it done. And I think that, first off, I think the Lakers are very underrated defensively because if we looking at stats, since January 15th, we've been like the second best defense and had the second best net efficiency. We've been flying all around. And quite frankly, I was looking at the numbers this morning.
Right.
The Lakers honestly have a better defensive rating with AD off the floor and when AD doesn't play.
Right.
And the Lakers have a better offensive rating when AD doesn't play. Of course, that means nothing.
Right.
Davis. But I'm just saying. According to the numbers, and then they talk about Luka defense. This whole season, Luka has the best player defensive rating on the Mavericks. In the finals, he had the third best in the whole finals.
So
now,
he improved.
Luka is not, obviously the eye test tells us a lot, and Luka's problem is just the effort piece of it. I think that if these players can come inspired, flying around, play team defense for just 7 games, I think the Lakers can handle it.
Well, and culture is a big part of it, too. You got to buy in. You know what I'm saying? Because you spoke about the effort piece. If you have your locker room, and that's a coach's job, of course, if you have your locker room, if you have guys that enjoy playing together, that want to win together, are hungry for that, to me, the effort will be there. And that, believe it or not, is actually the easiest thing anybody in the NBA can bring is their effort. I mean, truly, you know what I mean? And they say the best ability is availability, but availability means showing up, putting in that effort, wanting to win and playing as if you want to win. Because let's be honest, somebody like Luka, if I were to just like from an outside observance, I personally think that when they say like, oh, his work ethic wasn't there, it's almost like when you meet somebody who has been famous since they were a kid, where like mentally they seem still like in a little bit of a child's place. And I mean, no disrespect, but again, Luka's been playing professionally for a very long time. I think that anybody who knows the NBA world knows that everything is handed to them. Life is made very easy for them because they are multi-million dollar products. They are bringing a lot of money into different cities, into arenas, and they don't just do it in their own city. They bring, like Giannis, he brings money into other cities because fans are paying and flying to cities to go see him play. And so, point being, these men are very well taken care of. Luka's been very well taken care of for a very long time.
He was 13.
Come on. And I don't know what it was like, but I can only imagine if you're a 13-year-old basketball phenom, you won't want for anything, I would imagine. So that being said, he almost has to find the joy, the love, the desire to bring that effort. And I think that culture is a big part of it. And I don't know what was going on in Dallas. Let's be honest, Jason. Let's just say it. I mean, something was going on.
Something was happening.
You don't trade a Luka, at the prime of his career, the year after he takes you to the Western Conference Finals. You don't trade a 25-year-old superstar of his magnitude. And I want to read what I sent you earlier from the Mavs owner, Patrick Dumont. He said, quote, "If you look at the greats in the league, the people you and I grew up with, Jordan, Bird, Kobe, Shaq, they worked really hard every day with a singular focus to win. And if you don't have that, it doesn't work. You shouldn't be a part of the Dallas Mavericks." That is extremely telling. And I think it's not a matter of him not wanting to put in the work. I think that there was something that just wasn't connecting with the two. And at some point, you got to say, all right, this is not working. We're going to have to move on. What can we do to make this work? I don't think they're ever going to tell us exactly what was going on. And we don't need to know. We're fans. We get to watch. This is entertainment for us. But that being said, for those wondering how could, the Mavs do this, sometimes things just don't work out. And hopefully Luka's in a better situation where we can now watch him be the absolute best he can be. Because I'm sorry, Jason, if this isn't the best Luka that we've seen, I'm scared. The whole league should be 25. And you're telling me he wasn't conditioned, he wasn't bringing effort, and yet he did all that for you?
He got you to the – hey, listen, if it take not being conditioned and not putting effort to get to the finals,
wow,
maybe I need to be less conditioned and not putting effort.
Okay, I'm just saying.
The fact that this man brought up Shaq, I texted you this because that made me so mad. You over here talking about somebody who don't got the work ethic, somebody who coming in overweight, who coming in out of shape, who coming in not conditioned. Was this not the whole beef between Kobe and Shaq? Shaq literally admitted he came into a training camp every single year out of shape because why? He was eating McDonald's, he was eating fast food, and he said he didn't care. He said, I'm still getting MVPs and I'm still going to the finals. So for him to bring up Shaq, that was, I understand the other names because they were singularly focused, but not everybody has to be like that in order to win championships. But what I think just happened, they just poked the bear.
Oh,
it's
yes.
over.
Oh, it's over.
Luka is mad.
Oh, he's mad. And we know Luka magic when we see it.
You want Luka mad?
Come on now. You want Luka magic? Sorry. You set me up for it. You set me up, Jason. You set me up.
It was perfect, though. It was crazy because Danny Green, ex-NBA player, said that Luka Doncic is the pettiest player in the NBA.
He is.
By far.
That
so
man
we gonna see.
Oh, we gonna see. Yeah, if I was out west, I would be like, okay, so y'all did that, Mavs. Okay. And also, speaking of, they just guaranteed, like I said before, a Lakers finals run for the next decade, essentially. Because Luka, I don't think he would retire anytime soon. I will say, I actually thought about that, though, when he was with the Mavs. I kind of felt, is he going to burn out at some point? Because he's been hooping for so long. I actually think this trade is going to renew his love of basketball. Because there were times from a fan perspective, I don't know anything genuinely. There were times when I felt like he was just kind of going through the motions. I'm sure I'm not the only one. And I'm not saying it was lack of effort, But again, this man been hooping professionally for so long. You need something that's going to keep you motivated. Like LeBron, this man has been on different teams and won a championship with all of them. And I think that a big part of the reason why he's still fueled is because being in different environments, it's motivating him in a different way. It's like different chapters of his career. And Luka, when he wrote his love letter to Dallas, which I thought was so lovely, by the way, he was saying he thought he was going to be here for the next decade. Yeah. I think that Luka was probably getting a little complacent, whether he realized it or not, because when you're as good as him, and you can put in the bare minimum. Again, I don't know if that's the case. That's just how they're making it seem. If you put in the bare minimum and still hoop like that, of course you're going to put in the bare minimum.
And still go to the finals?
Are you kidding me? Shoot. Let me sit here and eat my chips and then take y'all to the Western Conference Finals because I'm like that. Of course he's going to do that. That's human nature. I think we just woke up a beast.
That's what I don't get. So they trade Luka because they feel like he's not putting in full effort. And you think this is not gonna this will wake me up. This will wake anybody up. This is not gonna wake him up?
Come on. Yeah, and again, there's got to be something there. We know that.
There's something more, Mel. Me and my friends talked about it the day happened. I'm trying to tell you, listen, I don't know what was going on behind the scenes. I don't know what affairs was happening. But I mean to tell you, something was going on behind the scenes.
Yes, something was going on. And I genuinely hope and pray for Mavs and Lakers fans that everybody just is at peace at some point. I know Mavs fans are still protesting. I was telling you, I was reading that there are a lot of season ticket holders that are demanding their money back. They were demanding a refund. And I didn't even think about that, Jason. When we were on the phone talking, I'm literally thinking as we're talking, like, this is such a loss for the Mavs, like monetarily even. And I genuinely didn't think about that. And then Anthony Davis, he had a non-contact injury in his first game with the Mavs. I'm like, oh, my gosh. But everything happens for a reason. And I'd like to think that the Mavs did Luka a favor, and he hopefully did one for them in return. Even if, let's say we see it pay off for the Lakers immediately, if the Mavs win a championship within the next, let's say 5 years, I think it's safe to say they likely wouldn't have been able to do that with Luka because of whatever is going on. Like, I don't care. You can go all the way to the finals. If the culture is not what it needs to be, if you don't have full buy-in, if everyone is not on the same page, you can't win, period. I don't know any disconnected NBA team that has won an NBA Finals in recent memory, at least. Like, I just don't think it's possible. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just don't see a disconnect when it comes to a championship caliber team, period, in any sports, really.
No, I agree. And especially talking about the Anthony Davis-Luka part, the thing is Anthony Davis is a great, great player. Yeah. However, he's not as box office as Luka Doncic. Like, if you having a game and you put in superstar versus Anthony Davis, yeah, it sound good. That's nice. But when you got player A versus Luka Doncic, oh, snap. Now everybody got to tune in.
Yeah.
It's a difference between being a superstar player and then being just a superstar, a megastar.
Right.
Luka is a megastar. He's a main attraction. He's a top 3 player in the league. So when it comes to the dollars and you're bringing that to already a juggernaut in the Lakers, and you combining them from a business sense. The Lakers won this trade. Like, they brought in many millions of dollars for the foreseeable future.
Man, people are going to pay to go just see Luka sitting on the Lakers bench with them. Just to see him sitting next to Bron.
And you add LeBron into the equation.
Come on. I know.
And his final years. Imagine LeBron final season once he announced his farewell tour.
Right.
With Luka, every single game, the passing of the torch moments. Come on, man. This is going to be legendary.
No, I couldn't agree more. Now, there's a lot of, just crazy trades happening in general. Obviously, Chris Middleton, now with the Washington Wizards. I still don't have the words for that. I know, your face says it all, Jason. I mean, NBA champion, 3-time All-Star. I mean, he single-handedly, but with the team, carried us through the Eastern Conference Finals when Giannis went out with an injury. We didn't even know if he would return for the finals. Chris said, let me go ahead and just put y'all on my back. Y'all good? We strapped on? All right, bet. Let's go. And this man, I mean, It's really hard because, it's the history of it. He's the Bucks' all-time three-point leader. You know, we know that he's somebody who has played with Giannis since his rookie year. I think they were the longest standing teammates actually in the league. I'm almost certain they were. I think they were.
No, they were.
That sounds
They were.
about right. Yeah, because Steph and Clay were together for a minute too, but obviously he's now with the Mavs. But like, which I didn't even think about that. But anyway, we passed that. Yeah, but yeah, there's so much to talk about. Each team could have their own show. But yeah, with the Chris Middleton trade, listen, we got Kyle Kuzma from the Wizards. He already debuted on the road against Atlanta. I thought he put up some solid numbers playing against the Sixers today. How do you feel about that trade?
Now, my emotional attachment to Chris obviously says I hate it.
Yeah.
But that's not because of any basketball reasons. It's strictly because, come on, dude.
It's hard to say about
As long as I've been into basketball, Chris Middleton has been on my team, especially even when going to Bucks games or covering Bucks games and just talking with Chris, one of the most friendly. Now, of course, he is a bit more reserved and quiet, but, bro, one of the most friendliest dudes you can talk to, a great guy. So it brought us a championship. Come on, dude. Like, I got to say I witnessed a championship parade. I was there. I was there at the game. I was there at the parade. And Chris Middleton had a huge, he was the second best player on the team, but between him and Drew. So it hurts. However, I understand the move. We got Kuz. He's 6'9", versatile, tall, can defend multiple positions. He can shoot when he's in the zone. So and he's a champion too. So he has championship experience as well. So I'm happy for it. He's younger, so we're going to have to just see how it plays out the more he get acclimated to the team. But I think it's a good fit, and I was hurt when I saw it, Mel, but come on. It's only for the future. There's nothing we can do about it now. And we're going to see, Mel.
No, I agree. For me, what made it real was just seeing Chris because these things happen immediately. Like, they're sent to their respective cities immediately. Like I said, Kuz, he made his debut on the road against the Hawks, 12.7 rebounds in his debut, and I saw Chris with the Wizards, and I was like, this is just so odd. Like you said, it's personal. It's more the emotional side of things. I know it's just business at the end of the day, but nobody lobs to Giannis the way Chris does, and I mean, you said that he was the second best player, maybe drew a little bit there. I thought he was, to the point where, because of what Chris did in the Eastern Conference Finals, first off, he would have won MVP if they had one for the conference finals. But second, I was like, Yanni, he had a 50-point, game 6, so there was no question. But I'm like, you could argue Chris or Giannis for finals MVP. Now, again, Giannis, he went different mode. He went Luka Wizard in the finals. So, he was just different. But Chris, I genuinely felt like even he was giving people like Giannis, like as in numbers wise, a run for their money. And Chris, even last year with no Giannis, he put the team on his back. And he's somebody who proves he not only has the IQ, you want to talk about basketball IQ, that's like having a coach on the floor with you, for one. For two, this man knows how to step up in big moments. Like you said, he's a little bit quieter, but he's like the calm, cool, collected type, and those are the scariest ones on the court, I'm telling you right now, because he can see the game. He sees it before it happens. He's so smart out there. But I do think that, just from a business standpoint, the Bucks, GM John Horst, he knows what he's doing. And so I just want to be optimistic about it. But I am sad. I'm not going to lie. It's hard not to be sad. Chris has been with us for the last decade. You want to talk about a decade? Man, Fiserv Forum is there because of Giannis and Chris. You know what I'm saying? Like, Giannis would not be where he is if not for the teammate that Chris Middleton was to him, So, yeah, that trade definitely made me sad. But I think any trade involving a long-standing player like that is going to make you sad. Jimmy Butler, he already made his debut with the Warriors, and he scored 25 in their win over Chicago. This was, last night. It was crazy, though, because they were down by like 24 in the first half, and then they just went off in the third quarter. And it was Steph. Steph literally scored 24 in the third quarter alone to erase that deficit. But I appreciated seeing Jimmy and Steph together, I wasn't expecting that to be the duo that I was going to be like kind of most excited to see. I'm excited for LeBron and Luka, of course. I did not expect Jimmy and Steph to be on my bingo card this year.
Because, that duo. And Steph kind of explained it perfectly after the game. He was like, Jimmy is honestly the opposite player of me.
Yes, he is.
While Steph is dominating the perimeter and outside the arc, Jimmy is dominating the paint.
There
Jimmy,
it is.
And they both have the ability to set up. They both have the ability to play make. Jimmy is obviously on a different level when it comes to defense.
Yeah.
So I honestly think, they were trying to get KD.
Right.
They didn't get
KD said it's not the right time.
KD was like, I ain't trying to go back to that. Come on now. Draymond, I got to go back to Draymond. I'm cool on that. But
you think that's why?
Oh, Draymond definitely. Come on.
Yeah.
Draymond said we don't need you no matter what. As a man, come on. No, it's raps for that, bro. It's raps for that.
Yeah.
So they got Jimmy. I like it. I ain't scared of them. I don't think they doing nothing. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid of them in the playoffs. However, I think it's good for the Warriors. It's good for the league. Like they a great duo. Steph Curry, second greatest point guard ever.
Yep.
Got some help. I love to see it. And I'm happy the Heat drama is over with.
Me too. That was the thing that concerned me the most because obviously there were murmurs about Jimmy going a lot of different places, Milwaukee being one of them. They were saying the, Jimmy for Chris trade. And my thing was, with all that beef going on, do we want to bring that energy? And this was me thinking for any team. I'm like, that's tough. That's a tough sell just considering how public everything was. But again, we don't know what's happening behind the scenes. Clearly, murky waters are in Miami, murky waters are in Dallas, but every team has their thing. You know what I'm saying? Some teams it's a little bit more public than others. That's all. But I think that for Jimmy's sake, because he's somebody who's still, I think he's still in his prime. I think he's still playing, top tier, but he hooping. People forget. And, because of his age, I think people like to say, and it's like, don't let these young guys fool you. Just because they're young and they got a different, set of skills or like, not even a different set of skills, but the way they show their skills is different. These veterans, they still running things, okay? Like, I would argue that somebody like Steph, somebody like Jimmy, who they're 30, they're a little bit older, that's a trade any team would make on any given day. I just think that with the Miami Heat, they're very methodical, and they're like, if you want Jimmy, what are you gonna give us? You know what I'm saying? Like they're very methodical with that, no matter what's going on. But I do think that somebody like Jimmy Butler, I was gonna say, I want him to be joyful when playing basketball because when Jimmy hooping, he is fun to watch. He's in my top 10 for guys to watch, like for sure. No question, he is Timothy. Okay, when they made their run to the finals a couple of years ago,
twice too,
twice. With a team that, on paper.
And if anybody said that they picked the Miami Heat before any of those series,
you're lying.
They're lying.
You're lying.
Ain't nobody picked Miami. I wouldn't even think about Miami. They didn't even cross my mind.
Come on. And I actually think Tyler Hero, similar to who did I say before? I think that there are a lot of players who help other players become who they are, if you will. I think that Tyler Hero largely is who he is because of playing with Jimmy Butler.
Oh, well,
I really do.
Question. The
I really
mindset,
do.
being around Jimmy,
being
like you can even see a little bit of Jimmy rubbing off on Tyler when he's hooping.
Yeah.
So yeah, even though Tyler been a dog too.
Yeah.
But when you playing with a dog like that,
come on,
it's
a different kind of dog.
You to the finals.
Yeah.
Different level.
It's a different dog. Okay, I forget where exactly Tyler's from, but that's a different dog territory than where Jimmy's from, and not that matters, of course, because like you said, Tyler's always been a dog.
Oh no, Tyler in high school, whenever we would play, because Jay Jench and Tyler, best friends but fierce rivals. Whenever they came to Brown Deer, it was a show. Like Tyler, anytime we chanted anything at Tyler, that just motivated him even more.
Facts.
We knew he was going to the league when we was in sophomore year of high school.
Oh yeah, no question. But I think Jimmy, let's say that he was a bulldog. I think Jimmy brought the Rottweiler out of him. You feel me?
Jimmy made a different beast.
There it is. That's exactly what it is. There's so much to talk about in the sports world. We got to get to our interview that's coming up with Visit Milwaukee. I'm super excited about that. But for you, where do we go from here? Like, I didn't think things get more exciting. This may be the most exciting year of the NBA. Yeah, because if you think about it, Jimmy to the Warriors, that's a big trade. But because that's huge. But because of the Chris going to the Wizards, like, all of these trades are so big, but the Luka of it all is just really with just everybody. I can't even believe it. I think we're in for a really exciting playoffs.
And think about this.
Mm.
It's been Super Bowl weekend, Super Bowl week.
Yes.
Everybody been talking about this. I
Right.
almost forgot that it was a Super Bowl. The fact because the NBA going so crazy.
I didn't even think about that. You're right. Wow. That may be the first time during NFL Super Bowl week that the NBA overshadowed them. NFL gonna be like, y'all gonna have to change y'all trade deadline because that's kind of funny. It literally fell in line with, and it probably does every year. But to your point, normally the Super Bowl overshadows everything. Wow. Not the NBA getting higher ratings than the NFL during the Super Bowl. Wow. I almost wish that there was an NBA game on just so I could see, and the Super Bowl gonna always win. It's the Super
It's gonna
Bowl.
win.
But still,
People still will watch the NBA. I know I'll watch the
they
NBA
gonna flip.
game. I'm flipping right back and
Right.
forth. Exactly.
Right, exactly. All right, we got an interview coming up with Visit Milwaukee, so make sure y'all stay live. We're going to talk about some different events, different happenings that are going on in the city. Let us know your thoughts on all these trades from the week. I mean, it's been a crazy sports week. By the time you watch this, we'll know the winners of the Super Bowl. Jay and I, we both think that it's going to be the Chiefs. I'm curious to see who it'll end up being, but I know I'm excited for this Super Bowl, excited for K-Dot. Shout out to Kendrick. And I'm just excited to see some new blood with the Milwaukee Bucks. It's going to be a good week for us. It's going to be a good year. 2025, that's our year, y'all. All right, we're going to talk to Visit Milwaukee on the other side. Stay locked. All right, y'all. So we are now being joined in stew. We're going to keep the sports talk talking, but we're going to also get into some Milwaukee talk because, we like to Milwaukee talk it. Hold on. We like to Milwaukee it like we talk it. There it is.
Walk it, talk it,
You
Milwaukee
feel that?
talk it.
Yeah,
Yep.
you got that?
I got it.
He's my amigo.
One of the Migos.
One of the Migos. There it is. Ian Thompson, Senior Communications Manager at Visit Milwaukee. How you doing, Ian?
Doing great. How about you?
I'm good. It's Sports Sunday. So when everyone is watching the show, it'll be Wednesday. But today it is Super Bowl Sunday. But I say Sports Sunday because we got a Bucks game today.
Yes.
Bucks versus Sixers. Tipping off here soon. A lot of crazy things going on in that world, but a lot of things happening here in Milwaukee as well. And something that I really appreciate about Visit Milwaukee is just how thorough you all are about highlighting different events that are going on, especially the events that people otherwise wouldn't have known were taking place. So I want to get into it right away. What are some events that are happening this year in 2025 that are noteworthy that you want our audience to know about?
Yeah, of course, we've got the Milwaukee Bucks season that's going on right now, and we're looking forward to a great playoff run and hopefully another championship with the Bucks this year.
That's right.
On
Our
top
second of the year.
Yes, second championship of the year. You can't forget about the in-season tournament,
That's
of course. Right. There are so many other events going on. U.S. Women's Open comes to Erin Hills for the first time, so you get to see championship caliber golf happening in Erin Hills. So you just got to go a little bit outside of Milwaukee to be able to see that. There are so many other events. IndyCar returns as well this year. So if you haven't gone to see, it's one of those events where you get to see racing going around and around and around the Milwaukee Mile. That's an exciting event. I had the opportunity to attend last year and be in the pits, and it is loud.
Dude, it's so exciting. Like race car events in general are very thrilling. So it's cool that we can actually have something like that here in Milwaukee.
Yeah, we're grateful to have that here in Milwaukee. And they just actually announced the numbers last week, multi-million-dollar economic impact to the Milwaukee area when you're talking about, the hotels, the restaurants, and also activating state fairgrounds as well. Those are the things that really bring tourism to the city of Milwaukee, and those events and sporting events as a whole do bring tourism to the city of Milwaukee.
That's amazing. Well, and same with the golf event. I remember when we had the Ryder Cup, that was a huge deal. Like you said, a little bit outside of the city, but we've got some beautiful golf courses. And so it's cool that you have people literally from all over the world that come travel to our state of Wisconsin and come to those type of events. So that's really cool.
Yeah, and the great thing about it is we have Mitchell International Airport, right?
Yep.
So they kind of have to fly into Mitchell, have to stay in Milwaukee as an opportunity to go and check out a bunch of these events. So it's great. Also coming up, the NFL draft in April. Yes. So a lot of people will fly into Milwaukee, take shuttles up to Green Bay. We do also have some events that are happening here in Milwaukee during the time that the draft is happening. So
nice.
We've got events with Potawatomi Casino and Hotel and the sports book going on over there. We also have an event with Jordy Nelson coming up as well. So a couple of different things that we're super excited to share about, happening here in the city of Milwaukee during the draft. Also, there will be a couple of picks that are Milwaukee locals as well. So
Okay.
we're anticipating that a couple of the guys that went to high school in the Milwaukee area or in the suburbs will be drafted. So we're super excited. Hopefully, we can get them integrated into some of these events. But it's a great opportunity to put Milwaukee on a national scale for, not only the sports that we have, but some of the great athletes that we have homegrown here in the Milwaukee area.
Well, you know what, Ian? Listen, I don't care if you are from Brandon, Wisconsin. You're from Milwaukee as far as we're concerned. As soon as you get drafted, I'm looking at you, Tyler Hero. You're from Milwaukee. You know what I
Yes.
mean? So we support everybody.
Yep,
Seriously.
we 100% do, and we have such great, local and homegrown talent, and we also
Yeah.
get to claim all the people that went to, Marquette,
Yep,
UWM
yep.
as well. So,
Jimmy Butler, to me, he's from Milwaukee.
exactly, yeah, Pat Baldwin Jr.
Yep, exactly.
You name those guys off, and they have historic Milwaukee legacies. Doc Rivers
Yep,
returning
yep,
from
absolutely.
going to Marquette back to
Absolutely.
coaching the Bucks as well. So,
Yeah.
I mean, we just are very Milwaukee proud here.
I know it. We really are. Well, and I say Sports Sunday because we really do. Sports are so ingrained in Milwaukee history and Wisconsin history too, of course. And I love that we have so many events around those. And again, I think it's cool when you see other types of sports, such as golf, such as race car, coming to the city. It's just really invigorating. And I think it's an opportunity for people to step outside of, what their norm is. Because I don't know, at least for my friend group, a lot of people that are like, I'm going to go watch an Indy car race. Like, it just doesn't come up that often. So when the events are happening, I think it's cool that we have, a resource like you all visit Milwaukee that are able to tell us about these things. Well, in speaking of, I know that there are also some new developments that are happening around the city. What can you tell us about those?
Yeah, talking about new developments, Milwaukee is going to get a pro soccer team here as well, in addition to the Wave,
Yep,
of course, but
yep.
that's outdoor. So
Right.
when you're thinking about pro soccer, you've got the MLS, and then you've got USL, which is the level right below the MLS. So that will be coming to Milwaukee. It's called Milwaukee's Pro Soccer Team as of right now.
Okay.
There's voting that's happened to see what the name of the soccer team will be,
Okay.
but it's going to be in the Iron District. So that's the big sporting development news that's coming out of Milwaukee. They're anticipating a 2026 season, so we're looking forward to that.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's soon.
yeah, it is very soon.
That's next
So
year.
It's next year. Yeah,
already?
Yeah, I know. It's going to
Jeez.
be here before we know it.
Okay.
So that's the big sporting news. But we also have other developments like the Milwaukee Public Museum.
Yep.
We've also got the Troll out in Wauwatosa as well.
Yep.
The Associated Bank Theater Center. So I mean, there are so many different developments that are happening here in the Milwaukee area that are not only going to impact sports, but are going to impact our arts, our cultural scene here in the city of Milwaukee.
Oh, that's so great. I love it. And you know what? When Milwaukee wins, we all win. And I think it's so cool to have something to look forward to. You know what I mean? As far as these new developments, and 2026 is hard to say that it's only a year away, but that time is going to come quick. And I was going to ask before we get into some more things, is there an opportunity for Milwaukeeans or residents, just around the state to have a part in that? Because I know when it came to naming the Bucks, fun fact, they allowed fans to let them, and fans actually chose a different name, and they went with the second most popular option, which is the Milwaukee Bucks, of course. And I can't imagine this being any other name, but is there an opportunity for residents to take part in that? Do you know?
Yeah, so the
there
voting
is.
actually has happened already.
Okay.
They have not announced the name as of yet.
Oh, okay.
Everybody has a favorite as far as what
Okay.
they're thinking that theirs are.
Yeah.
Milwaukee Tall Boys is one of the ones that I'm
Tall boys.
Yes,
That is so us.
that's
Oh
been
my
thrown out
gosh,
there.
That is I like that. Though.
I think it's
Sounds
fitting.
intimidating.
We have the history of the beer,
course.
and of course, I'm sure that there might be a player or two that's probably peaking above 6 foot,
For
6'1",
sure.
2,
For sure.
3, on that level as well. So I mean, there is a
The
fan
Tall Boys.
activism portion of things,
Okay.
and once the Iron District is up, you'll get to go there. There will be a hotel, there's apartments, live music venue.
And where is
there.
that? The
So
Iron
Iron
District?
District is right over by Marquette Interchange.
Okay.
Yep. So they've
Yep.
already kind of broken ground. Some of the older Marquette buildings have been taken down, but
Yep.
it's going to be the next progression in Milwaukee sports.
Oh my gosh, and that's going to be a great area. Oh, I love that so much. So, what for you is your must visit place or list, if you will, if you're bringing someone new into town? And that's a question that comes up a lot, especially like working in the NBA. We get a lot of out of towners that, first off, want to come see Giannis and Dame and just want to come see the arena and see different things, all the things that Milwaukee has to offer. One of those things being the 3rd Street Market Hall here that we're at. And I always tell people, you were saying, there's a lot of people here today. Yeah, because there's a Bucks game, and this is where people come pregame. But in addition to here, where else would you say people must go and visit when they're in Milwaukee?
Yeah, we are the beer capital of the world.
Yeah.
So Miller Brewing got their start here. Highly recommend going on their tour.
Yes.
It has a little bit of the historic nature and also the modern aspects of it as well. So
Yep.
you can see the multi-million dollar barrel
Yep.
system that they have
The
there.
caves.
The caves as well,
So cool.
where we had Top Chef, which is
Yep.
the perfect bridge into culinary. We have so many great restaurants here in the city where
we do.
you've had Dane Baldwin of The Diplomat. We have also 2 new James Beard nominees this year. Agency with Best Bar, and then also I'm blanking on the other one as far as he's a multi nominated James Beard guy as well. It'll come
Okay.
it'll come
Yeah.
back to me in
Yeah.
a little bit.
For sure.
But yes, we have a couple of different culinary offerings here in the city. When you're talking about, you can get Mediterranean food, you can get
can get
Persian
anything.
food, you can get
Yeah.
Indian food.
Yeah.
That's something that people don't really realize is we have
Right.
190 unique neighborhoods here in the city of
Yes.
Milwaukee. So when you're talking about all the different ethnicities, all the different ethnic foods that you can go and get, I mean, it's an incredible thing to be able to just go and get Thai food, get Laotian food.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the things that I love, to just be able to say, hey, what are you in the mood for?
Yep.
We've got it here in the city.
Yeah. If you're a foodie, Milwaukee is the place. I mean, it really is. And I don't know what other term to use. This is an old school terminology, but hole in the wall. I love a place where you wouldn't know it was there unless you knew it was there. Some of the mom and pop shops, the restaurants, those are some of my favorites. And I always encourage people to travel, for the record. But if you're somebody who wants to explore your own city, or again, if you have a list of places you want to take people, go and explore our restaurants. You can get so cultured just from walking into some of these restaurants that maybe you don't frequent as often. But to your point, you can try so many different types and styles of food. And we really do have it all. And we have authentic food that's true to those cultures, too.
Yes, Gregory Leone was the name, and
yes.
Amalinda was the name
Yep.
that it was
Oh, yes,
escaping my
yes,
head
yes.
like 3 seconds ago. I was like, I know it'll come back to me,
For
Gregory
sure.
Leone. So
Nice.
shout out to him, awesome chef. His restaurant is great as well,
Yep.
right in the heart of downtown. So
yep.
yeah, when you're talking about other places to go as well, I mean, our city of festivals, right? We have Summerfest, we
So
have
many.
Festa Italiana, we have German Fest, Polish Fest,
Yep.
Pride Fest. I
Yep.
mean, there are so many different festivals. Weird Festival.
Yep,
is-
Juneteenth, the longest running Juneteenth celebration in the nation, by the way.
Yes, we're going to be participating in the parade with Visit Milwaukee.
That's
so
wonderful.
we're excited to participate again this year. In addition to that, Juneteenth for the first time intersects with Summerfest. So they have the
Yes.
lineup that is going to be absolutely
That's
incredible.
huge.
They've announced some of it so far, but there's going to be more. They announce the full lineup for Summerfest on February 12th. So looking forward to seeing all the artists that will be coming into Milwaukee and sharing, the rich heritage and the rich culture of, the Summerfest grounds, and, the more than 400 different artists that come into the city just to perform. I mean, if it's good enough for Kim Kardashian to come into Milwaukee and see a concert, I think it's good enough for anyone, right?
Okay, I love that. That's awesome. I love that. Now we know for Ian. He's like, has Kim been there? I don't know. No, no, that's great, Ian. I couldn't agree more. And also, we have a theater district. It has the most per capita theaters in the nation, which I didn't know. That's a fun fact. What are some of the events that we can look forward to in the theater district specifically, which, by the way, you said the Iron District, the theater, we have so many different districts and so many different areas for people to explore. I love that. Milwaukee really does have some serious hidden gems. So anyway, it got me thinking about all that. But yeah, what are some events in the theater district we can look forward to?
Yeah, so Wicked is the hottest thing that's going around.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sure everybody loves, doing the sing-alongs, everything
Yes.
else, but it'll actually be here in Milwaukee at the Marcus
Really?
Performing Arts Center, on top of a bunch of other cool events. There are so many different events that happen throughout the year. I just was lucky enough to go to Cirque du Soleil Calabante, which is the
So good.
African take of Cirque du Soleil.
How was it?
Yeah, it was absolutely incredible. Contortionists, like I had not seen anything like that before in my life. It was a little jarring as well when they're
Yeah,
twisting their
I
body
know.
around and looking at you and like, oh
Right.
my God. But it's amazing entertainment to be able to go
Making eye
and see.
contact with your soul. No.
Yeah, it connects with your soul. We have, a bunch of new music venues that are coming on live with Frank Production in the Deer District as well, which will ideally be a part of the Theater District.
Yeah.
You've got Vivarium on the east side, which is a little bit of a smaller music venue where you can go and see comedy shows, music, of course. They just have such a variety of different things that they offer there.
Yeah.
The ballet. Also, if you haven't
Yes.
gone, highly recommend going to the Symphony Center.
Yes.
It's absolutely gorgeous with, the expansion that they did there. But
So
you can go
good.
and see, a movie accompanied with a score as well. So Valentine's Day weekend, Casablanca is happening. So that's a great, one of those hits that, comes back again and again and again each year. You can see Back to the Future, Harry Potter. There's so many other ones that are in
Spider-Man into the multiverse. I
I
saw
oh
that.
yeah, that was great. I saw Black
Ian.
Panther where they brought in
Oh, I'm
the drummer that
jealous.
actually was on the soundtrack as well.
Oh, I'm
That
jealous.
yes, so I
I didn't
mean,
even know that was a thing until I saw Spider-Man into the multiverse. I was like, how have I not known that we do this? I mean,
yes.
seriously. Wow. Okay, anyway, sorry.
Yeah,
I get
no, I
excited.
mean, there's so many different things that are hidden. We have Florentine opera, we have children's theater as well. So I mean,
Oh,
there are just so many things that you wouldn't necessarily expect about
right.
Milwaukee. If you look on our events calendar, Milwaukee, visit milwaukee.org/events. I mean, you can put in just about any date and find an event happening. If you're looking to go and do something with the kids, with a spouse, with your significant other, with your family and friends, there's all these events that are happening throughout the entire year that you can go on there and check out. Some of them are in our theater district, some of them are in the suburbs, some of them
Yep.
are restaurant. You can go and do like a tequila tasting at La Pina. You can go and
Ooh.
listen to records. There's so many different things that are happening in the
Cool.
city that people should be taking advantage
Yeah,
of as well.
absolutely. Well, and you know what? It makes me think of, people who say like, "Oh, what are some date night ideas?" Or, "I'm just hanging out and it's a Thursday. What can I go and do?" Go to visitmilwaukee.org, you said, slash
Yes.
events. Easy. All right, one more. So Milwaukee has received some accolades from notable publications. What are some of the accolades and which ones would you like to see won this year?
Yeah, so Condé Nast Traveler, we have been number 3 best big city in the nation,
Wow.
only behind Chicago, which is number 1, and
Yeah.
San Diego being number 2. So we're ahead of LA, we're ahead of Atlanta, we're
New
ahead of
York.
a lot. Yeah, we're
Wow.
ahead of New York as well. Ideally, we got to get up to number 1.
Yep.
So go in and vote for the Reader's Choice Awards for Condé Nast. We've also been National Geographic Best Places to Visit in the Entire World.
Mm.
We've been in the New York Times. I mean, there are so many different accolades that we've received as a city, and we want to continue to build those accolades as well. So, I mean, when I'm thinking about accolades, it's not only those things that are in publications, but championships, right? So when you're talking about Milwaukee Bucks winning the championship here
Yeah.
again in 2025, that's an accolade that gets stamped on, that puts people on notice about Milwaukee. We want to
Yep.
have a Milwaukee Brewers championship,
Yep.
Milwaukee Admirals, who had
Yep.
won the Calder Cup a couple of years ago, but we want to continue to, represent that legacy of rich sports that we've had in the city here. I mean, when you're talking about some of these Reader's Choice Awards, you've got, Best Museum, which Condé Nast actually just named Milwaukee Art Museum as one of the top 50 museums in the country as well.
Wow.
So, I mean, we have the stripes. We have all these things that we have about the city that we are definitely proud of that just need to be, put out there. Discovery World being one of the top science museums in the country as well. So, I mean, we just continue to add accolade after accolade to Milwaukee, and we should be, right?
Of
Because
course.
we have such amazing things here. We have such amazing people that come out of the city. I really want to see accolades come out of Unfinished Legacy. I mean, we're
Yes.
beginning to go out and pitching them to the world. And
Yes.
there's so many people that are talking about them. I'm not
I'm
not
so
wearing
proud of
anything
them.
today, but I will be wearing some a
Oh,
little bit
yeah.
later. But they're just doing such incredible work in the fashion scene. So we have just so many different things in Milwaukee that we're so proud of, and that we just need to continue to tell so many other people that, hey, you can come to Milwaukee for arts. We can come to Milwaukee for fashion. You can come to Milwaukee for sports. I mean, Milwaukee's a city where you can live in, you can move to, you can
Yep.
raise a family here. It's
Yeah.
a great city overall.
No, I couldn't agree more. I mean, listen, if there's anyone who loves Milwaukee, it's Ian, but I do too. And I know that you all do as well. We really appreciate you all really appreciate Visit Milwaukee, all of the work you do. Real quick, I'm loving the threads you have on. That hat, where did you get that hat from?
Visit Milwaukee has a store as
Wait,
well.
I did not know that. I promise.
Yes.
I assumed it probably was, but
No
that's
plug,
fire.
no
I like
plugs
that.
here today.
No plug,
but,
I promise.
But now I get to
Now you
plug
gotta
it
plug
as
it.
well. So yes, Visit Milwaukee does have a shop where you can find the thread of the hat. You can
love it.
find the sweater. We'll get
Fire.
you. What are you? Yeah, we'll get you a sweater.
Please, I would love that. I would really appreciate that. Thank you so much. And I couldn't agree more. Listen, I love Milwaukee. I've been here for 33 years, born and raised. This is my city. I absolutely love it. And I just appreciate that we continue to grow. You know what I mean? We continue to revitalize. You mentioned bringing another championship to the city. The fans are such a huge part of that. The sixth man is a real thing. I say it all the time. We would not have won that 2021 chip without our fans. I mean, seriously, they were the ones that just pushed that team, motivated that team, brought the energy. And so we got to continue to bring that energy, not just to the sports teams, but to all of our, like I said, the small shops, the restaurants, all of the different places that we frequent, because not only the support, but again, just bringing that positivity, that energy, bringing that drive there, like literally driving people to those places, it's only going to make the city better. It's only going to help us grow and prosper more. So thank you for being so enthusiastic about what you do. Like, sincerely, I really appreciate that. As a Milwaukeean born and raised, I love everything about this city. I hope that you all found this conversation exciting. I did. I know I'm going to go try some new things. Again, can you let people know where they can go and check out some events? Can you tell us that website again?
Yes, visitmilwaukee.org/events. You can check out so many different ones as far as the major ones that are happening, the smaller ones that are happening. I mean, you can find it all at the website.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So again, Ian Thompson, Senior Communications Manager at Visit Milwaukee. Go to visitmilwaukee.org/events so you can go plan your next Thursday, your next Tuesday, next date night, family day, whatever it may be. Thank you so much again, Ian. And thank you all for tuning in to Nothing But The Truth with Melanie Ricks. Shout out to Jason Smith at the Jason Smith on Instagram, producer extraordinaire. You all have a great rest of your day. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.